Hello, hello. So I wanted to share or discuss what the healing process feels like, for me at least, which essentially the healing process is basically taking each habit or false belief and undoing it, kind of turning it on its head. Is this true? Is this true? Is this true? Because whatever false belief you have turns into a habit. Like if you have a belief that you're not good enough, or you have a belief that you're not smart enough, that's going to turn into a habit, like avoiding certain things. And then, it starts super young. Over time, it just keeps building and growing, turns into a huge habit. And then as you're a teenager or an adult and realize, you know what, this is not going well. I don't like this. How do I fix it? Well, there's nothing like really fix. Now, I'm a speech language pathologist, and like a lot of the medical sides, it's very, a lot of the work is focused on fixing things and focus on what's superficial. And I get sometimes pushback when I prefer to go a little bit deeper. And I guess since I was really young, I can see things multi-layered about a situation or a person. So it's like, well, there's more to this than just what's superficial. But we're supposed to go with what's medically accepted at the moment. So, but it's always a gut instinct for me that there's so much more that we have to go down to the root and do that in order to change what's on the surface. So I kind of had a visual and I just wanted to draw it. I'm a visual person. So let's say this is your habit, something that you've developed over time, and then you realize, you know what, this is no longer serving me. I don't like this. It's interfering with my work a lot of times, or a lot of times with adults, it's usually how it interferes with their job. That's what really motivates people to change something. Once in a while is relationships, and I don't deal with relationships so much, but it all kind of applies. So if you want to start changing this habit, it's not like a small few strategies, you're done. Because remember, it's been in there since you were very young, since before you can even remember. So the way the process works is you can't just go and take this whole part out right away. Your body can't handle that. So the process is bit by bit. So let's say you start addressing it. You're going to take out a small part of it. And then you work through it. And then a lot of times I've had experience, clients experience, I feel better. So you kind of went up a ladder. I feel better, I'm here. But the rest of you is here with this. You might not be aware because you're kind of in this euphoria, yay, I feel better. And then one sweet day, a trigger comes along and triggers some more of this habit. And then I come in here, compliance, and for myself, like, oh shit, not this again. I thought I resolved this. I thought it was over and done with. But it doesn't work like that. Now, because of that disappointment, you kind of brought down, right? Because you are up here, you have to go down to address it. So it's a moment of disappointment and, oh, is there any point to any of this? A lot of times this is where people give up because they're like, I worked hard, I didn't get the results I wanted right away or as quickly as I thought I would, what's the point? It's, you know, the old habit was okay. It wasn't great, but I can live with it. And some of us push through, because what happens when you dip down, once you work through this part, you end up going higher. So 1 step back, 2 steps forward. It's like you jump. I'm going through a moment of, let's say, so again, you have another trigger. You know, you're going through your euphoria. Yeah, I feel better, feel stronger, I feel more confident. And then you're triggered again. You got a dip. So that fall feels hard. It's like splat. But each time you gotta go deeper and you gotta go lower, right? The higher the climb, the harder the fall. So I'm going through that this month. You know, the Gemini month is bringing up old stuff that I mean, I was hoping that it was mostly resolved. I thought it, you know, I didn't think it would be this intense. So yes, I've had a lot of like disappointment and depression, anxiety. Are things even going to get better ever? But it's like you already have experience from before. You have all this experience where you know that this is the process and you stick with it, you will make it through. And you know that this is just how the process is, because if you actually address that full, you gotta be realistic here. You're an adult. That habit, that false belief has been in there for a long time. So you can't just rip it out all at once. You won't be able to handle it. I don't think anybody can handle it. And yes, I've spoken to people who have been doing this work for years, and it still happens. But because you already have that experience, you have the belief, you form a belief, faith. So faith, belief, you know, in God, which is basically that faith and belief in yourself, the higher self, that power that you have to overcome, to push through. It's a magical force. You can't see it, but you can only experience it. And that's where faith and belief comes in. So it makes sense when a person hasn't experienced these ups and downs, they haven't gone through the process. It's hard for them to have faith. So I just wanted to share it. It's just something I've been processing on. And this is also to help myself just stick it out, keep going. It will help, because I have reached, like, my confidence this month went from maybe like 70, 80% to 30. So that was a hard fall. It was like literally I was up here and flat. So my faith right now is, imagine if I work through this stuff, how high I will be. It's my faith. And that's all we can have is faith. Because what's the alternative? Stay stuck? What's the alternative? Stay here the rest of my life and live with the fact that I gave up, live with the fact that I never got to find out what it will be like on the other side. Never find out how the full strength and the magnitude and the full capacity. Those are the options. Love to hear your perspective. Take care.